And we are so lucky to have Darden Smith in our studios today here at the Bridge. If you want to find out more about Darden Smith, you can go to dardensmith.com. And he's in town today, kicking off Johnson County Community College's Veterans Week. And of course, Darden is the founder of Songwriting with Soldiers. You can find out more about that at songwritingwithsoldiers.org. Thanks so much for coming in, Darden.
It's a pleasure. It's always good to be back here at the Bridge.
You know, it's always funny to interview you because you have, you know, this huge body of work, you have this career, but you also have this Songwriting with Soldiers, among many other things that are sort of based around bringing people into the collaborative process.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny. I used to think I had a career, and then I had all these other things, and then about 5 years ago I realized it's all one thing. It's all one sort of career. So I write songs for myself, and I make my own records, go do shows and all that stuff, and I do this other work like Songwriting with Soldiers is a big part of it. That is bringing people together. I'm really fascinated with the idea of writing songs with people that don't write songs. And really, to me, I mean, just to be honest, since it's just you and I talking, it's just about I've run out of stories, and I've run out of things to write about. I've covered it all, John. I've covered everything, and so now I'm just looking for other.
So like 14 albums. That was
I'm done. You know, it's like who wants to hear about my bad relationships? No, but no, it's fascinating to me the number of stories are out there, and I just got really interested in different ways to use songwriting beyond just making records, get on the radio, to go do gigs. That's beautiful. I love that. And there's all these other ways to work. So I've the Songwriting Soldiers project. That's a little bit of, it's probably about half of what I do now. And then I'm working at Johnson County Community College. That's a big word, Johnson County Community College.
Yeah.
So I'm working in classrooms. I'm doing some collaboration workshops with some soldiers there, but also just regular students. I've been working with companies and stuff, doing this kind of thing with conflict resolution work.
Yeah, Troubled Youth. I mean, you've been sort of all over the road.
Troubled Youth. Well, that's my band. No, it's my. Hey, you're talking about my industry. I've done just a lot of different things using songs and to help people tell their story.
So after collaborating with students, after you leave here today, as a matter of fact, there's going to be a free presentation tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Yardley Hall. And, I kind of argue with myself, free presentation, I think it's a little bit more than a show.
Yeah, it's a concert, but I guess I'm talking about my sort of trajectory of kind of how I got started in playing music and then stuff I've done, which led me to doing Songwriting with Soldiers and realizing that there's different ways to use music beyond just, for myself. And learning how to collaborate with other people, and learning how to work with people that are really different than that I think are really different than I am, to the songwriting process.
I guess one thing we should mention is, before Songwriting with Soldiers, you really didn't have any kind of connection to the military.
No, I mean, you're right. I was one of those people who didn't really have to serve because just the year I was born in, 1962. And so by the time I got there, the draft was gone and it was a volunteer army. And then being a musician, I just kind of walked the other way and didn't have to do anything. And so I don't really have any military experience, which is, I look at it as an advantage, especially doing Songwriting with Soldiers work. I have an advantage going there in that when I sit down to work with a soldier, because I guess I should say what happens when we do, we start a conversation and we start talking. And Songwriting with Soldiers, we do retreats, 3-day retreats, and in those retreats we bring together professional songwriters and wounded soldiers to write these songs and about their stories. We're not teaching anybody to write songs. I don't need any more competition. No, it's about using our craft to help their stories get into songs. And in that work, it's actually nice that I'm not a soldier. and that I'm not a vet, because then I can't prejudge their statements and their stories. I don't have any sort of commonality in the military setting, and so it's almost like I'm kind of a neutral, kind of a clean slate almost. I mean, it's not that I don't have opinions. I have opinions, but so it's actually quite nice. And the whole goal, the reason I started the program and the goal of the program was that I found that I was caught up in a very common judgment and prejudice about military people, and I had that prejudice shattered for me by a couple of people in a really beautiful way. And then so I use this project, Songwriting with Soldiers, is a way to sort of use songs to bridge the gap, which I call it the invisible divide, or make-believe divide, even between military communities and civilian communities, using songs without making, I mean, we're trying to make a big deal about it. We're just going to write some songs. In that process, you come together and you look, I mean, like I was saying to this, I was in a class right before we came to do this. I was over at Johnson County Community College, and it's a big word. And but anyway, I was telling people that, like, I used to think that I didn't wear a uniform till I realized I wear the same thing every day. And everybody's wearing a uniform. Underneath the uniforms are human beings. So let's get beneath the uniforms and look at the human being. And when you get at that level, there's like a massive amount of commonality, and people are never who you think they are. Never. Like, we walk around making judgments all the time. I'm as bad about it as anybody. And so when you start talking, and then when you use something like the songwriting process, the collaborative songwriting process, you start putting in there's information comes out and stories come out that you wouldn't get in a normal conversation, and it's all about making a song, and so great things happen that bridge that gap. And I mean, it's crazy that I have some of my best friends now are some vets that I've worked with, and people that we have this bond now. It's really incredible. I'm not a vet, and I don't have that. I'm who I am.
We'd love to hear some music if we could.
Yeah, I just wrote this song about a week and a half ago with a guy named Andres Jimenez, and Andres is Colombian. So he spent his life. He's born in America, born in New Jersey or Long Island, and but spent his life going back and forth between there and Colombia, and he joined the army. Got out of the army, and after 9/11, a friend of his died at 9/11, and in the towers, and this guy was a really big influence on his life. So he rejoined after 9/11. So he's still in. So, and Andres and I wrote this song. Well, I lost a good friend that day when the towers came down. I still hear his voice when I'm out walking around, saying money comes back, but old friends never do. But when they're gone, and his words still ring true. I'll tell you this story right now so you will know. The good guys like that shouldn't be the ones to go. Yeah, the good guys like that shouldn't be the ones to go. It don't matter your race, your color, your creed. He was always there in your time of need. Smart as a whip, he could really put a bat on the ball. And in that final moment, he gave his wife a call. I'll tell you this story right now so you will know. The good guys like that shouldn't be the ones to go. Shout out from the mountaintop and the valley below. Yeah, the good guys like that shouldn't ones to go. The good guys like that shouldn't be the ones to go. So thank you, brother, for being my friend, showing me just what it means to keep believing and never quit. Always have a dream, and that dreams can come true. Yeah, brother, I still dream about you. And I'll tell you this story right now so you will know that the good guys like that shouldn't be the ones to go. I'm gonna shout it from the mountaintop so you will know that the good guys like that shouldn't be the ones to go. Yeah, the good guys like that shouldn't be the ones to go. Oh, the good guys like that shouldn't be the ones to go.
Darden Smith this morning on the bridge. One of the songs that came out of the Songwriting with Soldiers program. You can find out more at songwritingwithsoldiers.org or dardensmith.com. Darden's going to be collaborating with veteran students later today at Johnson County Community College as they kick off their Veterans Week. And there'll be a free presentation tomorrow night at 7 in Yardley Hall. And it's being billed as being about collaboration and change. Listening to that song, you know, you talked about bridging the military and the non-military with music. But at a certain level, you know, it's also got to be therapy.
I think it's very therapeutic. It moves everyone, and you know, it moves me as much as it moves them. I mean, believe me, we're writing that song. I mean, it's like we'd already written one. Andres and I had already written one song about him being a drill sergeant, you know, and because when he got back in the Army, he was a drill sergeant, and you know, he talked about the song was about how he had these guys' lives in his hands. Basically, it was up to him, you know. And we write the song, we record the song, we're standing up, you know, hugging it. It's all great. And he goes, yeah, you know, it's like, because, and he goes, yeah, like when I was there, it's like the reason I did the whole thing was because this friend of mine. And I was like, what do you mean, friend of mine? He started telling me that story, and I was like, well, that's a great song. You know, let's sit down. And because he goes, yeah, man, good guys like that shouldn't be the ones to go. I was like, that just sort of, it's apparent to me that everyone's a poet. And when he said that, I mean, that good guys like that shouldn't be the ones to go. That's a fantastic song title. And I went, we got to sit down. And I just sat down. I mean, the guitar was already in the case. I sat down at a piano, and in 10 minutes, we'd written that song. And that was the song that he needed to write. And he was in a puddle, you know. And this is a massively strong human being. Physically, he's done a lot. He's done incredible things. That song was the one that like, he needed to write that song. So writing that for him, it's like, it's like he went through a portal of some sort, you know, and I go through it with him as the writer. I mean, I'm right there with him, and I carry it with me afterwards, you know. So it's therapeutic. I'm not a therapist.
You know, one of the things that I've wondered about as I've, you know, followed you in this is there have got to be people who've gone through so much that when they come to you, they're really not in a good place. And, you know, when you sit down and write the song, it's like you talk about being a blank slate, but there have got to be times when you think to yourself, wow, you should be handling this differently. You should look at this differently. Or, you know what I'm saying?
No, actually, I don't.
You don't?
Because most of the time, I mean, before someone comes to one of our retreats, they kind of have to be in a place where they're already either accessing some help already, on their own, or they're aware of. If so, they generally would have some sort of awareness about maybe some of their issues that they're dealing with. So the ground has already been kind of laid. Does that make sense?
Sure, absolutely.
And then the whole job is for us to sit there and not judge them. So if someone has something going on that's a challenge, that's if they're in a difficult spot, and I have been in those situations, and the trick is can you love them? Right there. Okay, so yeah, I got issues too, and so can you just be there and be with them and be in that situation, and let's just write a song. Let's don't get into what your issues are. You'll deal with that or you won't. It's not my job, because like I said, we are not therapists. We're not coaches. The executive director of the program is a coach, so she does a lot of that. We have therapists on site to handle in case there are issues, but no, my job is I'm a songwriter. So let's write a song. And in that situation, yeah, if I think I hear what you're asking, I'm a blank slate, and I have thoughts about, wow, they're really wound up tight. I don't let myself go there in a judgment situation, because that's a surefire way to ruin a song. I just want the song, and I want them to have the song.
Yeah.
And the trick is I mean the whole point of it for me, from a personal level, it's like, okay, I sit with someone who's done like things that I've never done. Like I've never done that. I've never been to combat. I've never had to leave my family for 15 months, come back for 3 months, and turn around and do it again. Like I never had to do that.
Now you have been on tour.
On tour is one thing. There's hotel rooms.
Yeah,
you never sleep in the sand.
Right.
And so those kind of issues I've never had to deal with. And some scary things. I've been told some scary stories, So in that situation, okay, can I just look at them as a human being who's done some things that I haven't done? That's really, it's actually is the oldest profession. It's the oldest profession. So it's part of human nature. Can I be with this part of human nature that's a little unpleasant to look at sometimes? Can I look at it from an artist's place? And can I bring who I am and my ability to write songs and collaborate in this way? Not trying to heal anybody or fix anybody. Let's just write a song. Then it's a whole lot easier. And then that whole like judging and all that stuff, kind of, just don't worry about it. Because then you also see they're also fantastic human beings.
Yeah.
Who are like done some amazing things, good and bad.
Angel Flight basically was the song that sort of led you to do songwriting with soldiers.
Yeah. So I had done Angel Flight. I wrote it with Radney Foster, who, by the way, we're singing it on the Grand Ole Opry Tuesday night, which is like pretty awesome, And sorry, I had to move this a little bit.
Yeah. You need to type that.
No, we're good.
Okay.
I don't know if that's live on the radio. We had a technical issue out there in Radio Land. We got it straightened out though. So I had done, leading up to when Angel Flight started. It started in. I met a Marine at Launchstuhl Air Base in Germany, and I was doing a concert there, and was really not enjoying the concert because I felt like I had nothing in common with the soldiers there, and I was judging them, frankly, and then a Marine walked up and we started talking, and through the conversation we found out that we had all kinds of things in common. I knew the best man in his wedding. I knew he knew this club I used to play in. I knew his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law's in Beausoleil, and I knew his brother-in-law. And it was just a trip, And it kind of spun my head around these commonalities that I had with someone that I, 5 minutes before I'd been thinking I had no commonalities at all, and I couldn't wait to get out of the room. And it kind of shattered so many stereotypes for me, and made me realize my own role in the separation. But leading up to that, I'd done a lot of work using songwriting with schools, kids, and I'd done a lot of work with homeless kids at a place called Covenant House in Newark, New Jersey. And then I'd done conflict resolution work, both within companies, coming in and getting people to talk to each other and write a song, and then going, okay, you can write a song together. Why can't you talk to each other? And then Israeli and Palestinian issues. I've done a lot of that. And then it was just because I was curious. It was like, wow, look at what else you can do with songs. It was like the stories were great. It was fun, you know. It was interesting and deep. And then I met the soldier, Fred Kale, the Marine in Germany. I met Fred, and I just went, wow, this is a completely untapped area for me as far as what I could use songs for. And it's like the stories are endless. And I knew a little bit about, you know, how to set something like this up. But anyway, that led to Angel Flight. Radney and Fred introduced me to some people in the Texas National Guard, and I got to know some people in the Guard there. And during a conversation I heard the word Angel Flight. And Angel Flight is when they fly a soldier home, a fallen soldier, fly him home. It's the Angel Flight, which is a beautiful song title. So wrote the song. Radney put it on his record. Went out, got a lot of video play, YouTube land, and one thing led to another, and now we're singing it on the Opry, John. My mama's finally proud of me. That's right.
Well, Darden is in town helping to kick off Johnson County Community College's Veterans Week, and we'll be working with soldiers out there today and doing a show tomorrow night. It's absolutely free. Starts at 7 o'clock over in Yardley Hall. Collaboration and change, part of the basis for the program tomorrow night. And Darden, we'd love to hear another song if we could.
Should I play Angel Flight?
If you'd like.
Yeah.
All I ever wanted to do was fly, leave this world and live in the sky. I lift the C-130 out of Fort Worth town. I go up some days, I don't wanna come down. I fly that plane called the Angel Flight. Come on, brother, you're with me tonight. Between heaven and earth, you're never alone. On the Angel Flight, come on, brother, taking you home. I love my family and I love this land. Tonight this flight's for another man. Do what we do 'cause we hear the call. Some give a little, but he gave all. So I fly that plane called the Angel Flight. Come on, brother, you're with me tonight. Between heaven and earth, you're never alone. On the Angel Flight, come on, brother, taking you home. Come on, brother, taking you home. The cockpit's quiet, the stars are bright. It feels kinda like church in here tonight. It don't matter where we touch down. On the Angel Flight, it's sacred ground. I fly that plane called the Angel Flight. I got a hero riding with us tonight. Between heaven and earth, oh, you're never alone. On the angel flight, come on, brother, taking you home. Come on, brother, taking you home. Come on, brother, taking you home. Come on, brother, taking you home.
Darden Smith this morning on the bridge. That's a song that's resonated with a whole lot of people.
It's a funny thing. Sometimes you just land on those songs. I mean, I credit a lot of it to Radney Foster, you know. But yeah, sometimes Angel Flight's I don't know. It's it's sort of changed both Radney's and mine's life. And it's funny because it's not like, you know, from a music point of view, it's not that like I've made the most money on that song.
Yeah.
But that's not the deal. There's other songs that were that, but it was like as far as cultural resonance, it's like definitely the biggest thing I've ever been involved in, and as far as changing my life, and I think changing, having an effect on other people. It's like I don't think a week goes by that I don't get a letter from somebody, you know, about it. They've heard it, they've played it, they've had it played for a family member. I was told by a guy, and that there was a while there that he, when he was in Iraq, he said, I heard it every day, you know, which is kind of amazing, you know.
Yeah.
So it's really just in a way a lucky break, but I think it was a break that like I just was sort of there for, and I happened to be the guy with the guitar at the moment.
Darden Smith is our guest. He's working with soldiers today out of Johnson County Community College, kicking off their Veterans Week, and be doing a free show tomorrow night at 7 in Yardley Hall. Collaboration and Change is in the title of the presentation, and you know, I'm one of those people that loves the commentary tracks on DVDs.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I think it's going to be a fascinating program tomorrow night. You know, earlier in your career, you kind of weren't really fond of the concept of collaboration. You were very
I
seriously
hated collaboration. I hated the idea of collaboration.
Yeah.
Because I thought that if you know, well, I come from, you know, the background. So I grew up in Texas, and it was sort of Texas singer-songwriter thing. Towns, Van Zandt, Guy Clark. That was sort of the ethic. John Prine, was a very big influence. Willie Nelson was a huge influence. And Dylan, you know, Bob Dylan and Neil Young. Those are my sort of like, you know, Mount Rushmores of kind of where I come from. And it's from a songwriter. And it's kind of like sort of the Marlboro Man with a guitar standing out there. You know, you had to be on your own, you know. And so there was that. There was the kind of fear of maybe looking like I couldn't finish a song on my own, which is like completely ridiculous because if you look like the Beatles, you know, they kind of co-wrote like everything. Stones, like, you know, and all the great American songbook songs, those were all collaborative songs. And so I had to get over that. And now I see that not every song needs to be co-written, but there's really something, when you get with the right collaborator, you bring yourself to it in the right way. Which is you have to completely abandon the results. Just come in with an idea, and it's just a song. You're not writing the Magna Carta. You know, it's not like, you know, it's like, don't make such a big deal about it. And if you don't like the way the song turns out, well, write another one. You know, it's just like, just move on. And but it can be a lot of fun. I've learned a lot about writing by collaborating with other people, and it's helped my writing on my own. You know, so I've stolen a lot of really good tricks from people. Writing with it, like, that's how they do it. Yeah, right.
You know, the fear of collaboration, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. I know that one of those things is just the fear of interference, too.
Of me interfering with someone else or them interfering with me?
Them interfering with you. And I think that it's like, you know, sometimes it's like when you get to the level that you've been at, there's so many people that want to interfere that it sort of fosters a fierce level of independence. I know that...
For me, it wasn't really that way.
Yeah.
You know, that I always had really, you know, I was on Columbia Records
right.
for a bunch of years. I was really lucky in that I had really good A&R, sort of direction from within the label. I had like so much rope that I actually wound up kind of doing myself in. They gave me a lot of freedom, and I had really good input. And then you find that if you what I find in creative situations, come in with a bunch of ideas. Just come in with a whole bunch of ideas. Start talking first, and then the conversation's based around your ideas. And so when I go in to collaborate with people, I come in with a bunch of song ideas. So they're generally my ideas.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then if I was so good, and I mean, if I could finish the song on my own, believe me, I would, because the publishing, you get all the publishing. If you co-write a song, you split the publishing. Well, economically, you want to write all the songs yourself. But if I could, I would. But obviously, I think I could make it better.
I guess where I was going, sometimes when you
I completely distracted you from your point.
No.
I just started.
Well,
that's what happens when you collaborate.
Really
people
hard.
run over you when you collaborate.
Yeah. Sometimes it's really, it's like, it is funny because it's exactly what you're talking about. I wrote your answer in my own head. But, the story that I was really kind of leaning towards was those early Columbia days, your meeting with Tony Bennett. And his thing about being true to yourself.
You've done your research, haven't you, John?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I did. I did a gig. There was a chain called Musicland. I don't even know if Musicland's still around. It was a big record store chain. And it was a gig. It was me, Tower of Power, and Tony Bennett on the bill, which is pretty awesome. It's wow. And I was like the guy they sent out to check out the sound system, Anyway, so... so I was like, I have to meet Tony Bennett. So I actually got introduced to Tony Bennett in the dressing room, and I actually spent 30 minutes like in a conversation with Tony Bennett and a couple of other people, and it was like I couldn't believe I was there. It was so beautiful. A massive Tony Bennett fan, and in that conversation, he told me the story of his career, which was, he gets signed to Columbia Records. His first year, he has 4 songs in the top 20 at one time. 4 songs in the top 20 at one time. If you think about it, it's huge.
Yeah.
And he said, and it all went away. And then it came back with I Left My Heart in San Francisco. And he said, I was back on top. And he goes, then it all went away again. And he's like looking at me the whole time he's telling this story. And he said, kid, when it went away that time, it went a long ways away. He goes, I couldn't get any work. It was really hard to find work. It's when he started traveling the world more, doing lounges, doing really small venues. It's also when he started painting. And he says, I was just painting. He goes, for a while, he made more money as a painter than he did as a singer, which is interesting, And he paints under the name, I think it's Anthony Bonetto or something like that. But and then he goes, and now it's back. He goes, it's better than ever. This is after his son started managing him. He's the MTV thing, and he goes, now it's back. It's better than ever. And he goes, I during the whole thing, I never changed. I never didn't do Tony Bennett. I never did disco, which was fantastic. He goes, I never did disco, kid. But then he kind of gave me, as he was, he gave me the old, Italian face slap. He put both his hands on my cheeks, and he goes, don't let him change you. Do what you do, kid. It was like, wow, do what you do. It still resonates really deep with me. It's like, be who you are, believe that, don't change for other people. Just be really clear. And it's hard sometimes as an artist, especially because people do want to mold you and shape you.
Yeah.
And, his message was, don't sing other songs if you don't like the songs, because those are the songs that will be really successful, and you'll wind up singing those songs for the rest of your career. I know people that do that, and it's like it can be really a drag.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was, so that's my Tony Bennett story.
So to fiercely be yourself, but still be open to collaboration.
Well, be open to collaboration, because I love collaborating now because there's a bunch of really great people out there. And if you look at collaboration from a non-selfish point of view of like, hey, let's make this project, this song, this whatever. The goal is to make it really great, not to own all of it. If you own all of it, well, great. If it's really great and you own all of it, that's fantastic. But if you can also work with some other people, it's a lot more fun. It can be, and then you get to hang around with really interesting creative people, and you might make an even better project. So that's the goal. I just want to be involved with people that are really good. And I don't like to be the smartest person in the room, which is not hard for me. That's easy. And yeah, it's just it's better. It's more fun.
For all the collaborations that you've done across all the different spectrum, I think my favorite story is when you collaborated with your daughter's preschool class.
Yeah, well, that's how this whole part of my work got started. And my daughter's 17 now, and she was about 4 and maybe 3. And I went into her preschool class. They'd asked me to come in and sing some songs, because they knew I was a musician. So I hate kids' music. I didn't allow my children really to listen to kids' music. I know it's like maybe I'll be punished for that later, but we just kind of started with Aretha Franklin and kind of went. That was Aretha Franklin, Bob Marley were the roots of children's music in our house, and so I told him, I said, well, I don't really know any kids' music, but maybe I could write something with the kids, and so we wrote a song called. I don't want to be. I wish I was a rubber duck, because the duck gets to stay in the tub all day. And the kids went crazy. So these are like a room, 25, 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. It was pretty crazy. It's pretty wild, and it was amazing. And then so we wrote this song. It was really great and really fun. And then I noticed for the next week, the kids were on the playground before and after school continuing to write new verses, because it's really a nursery rhyme kind of structure, and it was about animals. And they were writing songs about, I wish I was a tiger, a tiger gets to do this, or I wish I was an elephant. On their own, without the parents being out there, they were doing this. And I was like, wow, this is kind of powerful. And songs live in a way that I hadn't realized before. And then collaborating, we made something that wasn't there that lives and grows beyond me, and that led to me wanting to work. So take that out into work with schools, which led to all kinds of different things. But the homeless kids, conflict resolution, which led me to Soldiers. So it all started that day in that preschool. So.
Darden Smith is our guest, and he is kicking off Johnson County Community College's Veteran Week beginning today. He is the founder of Songwriting with Soldiers. You can find out more about that at songwritingwithsoldiers.org, and there's a free presentation tomorrow night at 7 o'clock in Yardley Hall. Should mention his most recent CD is Love Calling, and it's an amazing piece of work, and you can find out more at dardensmith.com. Love to get one more song.
Yeah, I'll sing it. Actually, I'm about to go in and cut a new record, and this I think it's going to be the title track of the record. But I want it all, everything, all the joy that life can bring. When I'm gone, here's a song I hope to hear you sing. He wanted it all, everything. Now I have been to London, I've been to New York. I had some damn fine wine, good food upon my fork. Still there is a hunger that won't go away. I long to feel the beauty in every day. Yeah, I want it all, everything, all the joy that life can bring. When I'm gone, here's a song I hope to hear them sing. He wanted it all, everything. A hawk upon the wing, horses on the run, wave upon the ocean, my daughter and my son.
And when I'm still aching after all of this, I want my love to take me with a kiss. Yeah, I want it all. I want everything. All the bounty that love can bring. And when I'm gone, here's a song I hope to hear her sing. He wanted it all, everything. I don't need to hold it, that's not the way to live. I just want to have it all so that I can give it all away. Yeah, give it all away. Yeah, I want it all, everything. All the bounty that life can bring. And when I'm gone, here's a song I hope the angels sing. He wanted it all, everything. Yeah, 'cause I want it all. Oh, everything.
That's really lovely.
Thank you.
Can't wait to get the studio version in. You say you're gonna record that?
Yeah, we're gonna. I think we're gonna record in February. We're gonna make a Songwriting with Soldiers record. Radney, Mary Gaucher, and I are gonna make a record in December, and then that'll be all Songwriting with Soldiers songs that we've written over the last. We have like 200 songs over the last 3 years, and so then. But I'll go and make my own record in February. So yeah.
You're just in perpetual motion.
Kind of. I'm trying to actually find a little less motion in my life. It's going to be still a little more. But I like working. It's fun. I mean, I get paid to write songs. Give me a break.
Well, we sure appreciate you coming in. And you've got a full couple of days coming up at Johnson County Community College. So know that this is above and beyond the call to come in and be with us here today.
Well, not every place in America has great radio stations. So when you find one, go visit.
Well, thank you.
Support them. You know what I mean?
That. Yeah.
All you people out there in radio land, support them.
Yeah. We're going to lift that and play it 100 times during the next pledge drive.
Yeah, well,
wear that one out,
Yeah,
Darden.
well, I'll tell you it again. You don't listen to ads. You listen to musicians singing to you or talking to you. So when they need money, pay them. You can pay less money than a cup of coffee a day. And for some of you people, that's a lot of money. You can give it to these people, and it's 24 hours. Coffee, you're going to drink the coffee in like 10 minutes. Radio lasts 24 hours. Give them your money.
Darden Smith this morning on the bridge. He's kicking off Johnson County Community College's Veterans Week. That starts today with his work with soldiers. And then songwritingwithsoldiers.org. That program takes roots tomorrow night in a special free presentation, collaboration, and change with Darden Smith, 7 o'clock, Yardley Hall. No charge, no excuses not to go. It's going to be a phenomenal evening of music. And don't forget, Love Calling is his latest CD. You can comfort yourself with that one while you're waiting for the new one.
Yeah.
Darden Smith, thanks again.
It's always a pleasure, John. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Darden Smith this morning on the bridge.